Andy Carroll at Liverpool. Class, pay attention. Andy Carroll, the £35 million hammer that never struck the anvil. He became the most expensive English player ever in 2011. A giant striker built for chaos. But chaos doesn't work in every system. At Newcastle, he thrived on crosses, fights, headers, brute force. At Liverpool, a faster rhythm, a different shape, a universe where his style had no oxygen. Then came injuries. Then came pressure. Goals? Nowhere to be found. And so, the legend of the flop was born. Kaká at Real Madrid. Kaká, a heartbreak written in white. A Ballon d'Or winner, arriving as the prophecy of a new galactic era. He came for €67 million. Elegance, acceleration, divine geometry. But hidden injuries followed him from Milan. Knee, pubis, muscles worn by years of brilliance. Cristiano shined. Ozil arrived. Di Maria sprinted, and Kaká faded. Not a failure of effort, but of timing. Football can be cruel like that. Felipe Coutinho at Barcelona. Plus, this flop echoes through history. €160 million. Barca's most expensive signing ever. He was signed to replace Neymar's magic and Iniesta's brain, two legends in one body. Impossible. At Liverpool, he was a long-range sorcerer. At Barcelona, a rigid chessboard where he didn't fit. Too winger to be midfielder, too midfielder to be winger. The gears never clicked. Then came the loan to Bayern, and the twist of fate. He scored twice against Barcelona, humiliating his own parent club. One of football's greatest ironies. Alexis Sanchez at Manchester United. Ah, students, the musical flop, the famous piano announcement. United unveiled him like a maestro, a dramatic commercial for what should have been a superstar signing. At Arsenal, he was relentless, pressing, running, scoring, a storm in human form. But at United, a monstrous wage, a heavy burden, a fading physical level, one bright debut. Then nothing, no chemistry, no spark, no resurrection, a flop wrapped in music. João Felix at Atletico, Chelsea, Barcelona. João Felix, the €126 million prodigy. The golden boy meant to become a superstar, but Atletico de Madrid was the wrong habitat. A poet sent to a battlefield. Simeone demands warriors, intensity, defensive sacrifice. João Felix's creativity, freedom, improvisation. The relationship never worked. Then Chelsea. His debut, a red card, a sign of chaos. Then Barcelona. A small spark returned, but still nowhere near the price tag. A career of talent searching for a home. Eden Hazard at Real Madrid. Class, this is the modern king of flops, the saddest transformation of a superstar. At Chelsea, he was unstoppable, a one-man orchestra. Madrid expected the same, but he arrived out of shape. Just a little, but enough for the Real Madrid pressure cooker. Then the injuries, over and over. His explosiveness vanished, the dribbler evaporated. And while he faded, Vinicius rose. The throne changed owners 4 years. 3 goals, a superstar swallowed by cruel fate. Romelu Lukaku at Chelsea. Chelsea's €115 million return gone wrong. A monster at Inter, a mismatch at Chelsea. Tuchel's system needed fluid movement. Lukaku is a powerhouse, not a dancer. The low point, only 7 touches in a full match versus Crystal Palace. Then the infamous interview saying he wanted Inter back, a self-inflicted disaster. Fernando Torres at Chelsea. A flop, legendary enough to become myth. Liverpool's deadliest striker, became Chelsea's biggest mystery. Confidence shattered, iconic misses. The internet never forgot, from predator to ghost. But fate had a twist. He still scored a legendary goal in the Champions League semi-final, a miracle inside a flop. Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho arrived at Manchester United as a £73 million hope, a winger who lit up Germany with creativity, speed, and fearlessness. But once he stepped into Old Trafford, nothing flowed the same. At Dortmund, he played in a system built on movement and chemistry. At United, he walked into tactical chaos, with managers changing, styles shifting, and no clear idea of where he belonged. The confidence that defined him slowly disappeared. Touches became hesitant, dribbles stopped working, and he looked increasingly isolated each match. Then came the breaking point, the public disagreement with Ten Hag. After being accused of poor training standards, Sancho fired back online, and the relationship collapsed. Exiled from the squad, training alone, he became a symbol of a player lost in pressure and confusion. His return to Dortmund brought flashes of joy back, but his United chapter remains a cautionary tale of talent placed in the wrong environment. Ousmane Dembélé. Ousmane Dembélé's time at Barcelona is one of football's most unpredictable stories. Signed for €135 million as Neymar's heir, he carried the weight of an entire club's expectations. But almost immediately, injuries struck. Muscle problems returned again and again, cutting every glimpse of brilliance short. Off the pitch, rumours of gaming marathons, late arrivals, and poor routines turned him into a mystery. On the pitch, he was chaos in motion, breathtaking dribbles followed by wild decisions, magic mixed with mistakes. Barca never knew which Dembélé would appear. Yet everyone agreed on one thing: the talent was extraordinary. Xavi eventually unlocked a more consistent version of him, turning chaos into productivity. But just when stability arrived, he activated his release clause and joined PSG, leaving Barcelona with the feeling of 6 years spent chasing potential that never fully appeared. A genius without continuity. Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba's €105 million return to Manchester United was supposed to redefine the club. A midfielder with elegance, strength, flair, and charisma, he arrived as a global superstar. But from the start, he walked into instability, constant managerial changes, shifting tactics, and a club unsure of its identity. Pogba produced moments of pure brilliance, long-range goals, impossible passes, world-class displays, but they came in flashes instead of seasons. Off the field, every haircut, celebration, or comment became media noise. The feud with Mourinho tore the dressing room apart and turned Pogba into a lightning rod for criticism. Injuries then eroded rhythm and continuity, pulling him further from the player he was at Juventus and with France. In the end, he left United for free, just as he had years earlier. Pogba's story is a mix of undeniable talent, unstable surroundings, and the heavy weight of expectation.